Here we go.
What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Of course, we're doing it live. Doesn't matter if we're doing a Skype show. We couldn't not do, our Fanboy Awards not live. So
That's right, baby.
yeah, we're here. We're all separated. It's that time of the year when sickness runs rampant, and while I don't think any of us have tested positive for the COVID, we just wanted to take some precautions and make sure we're all feeling fine. It's just out of an abundance of safety. So
Yeah.
but joining me as always, right below me here is the wonderful, the magnificent, the glorious Luke Zilke.
Oh my gosh. That was too much. Got to tone that down a little bit, Brett.
Luke,
We got to remain professional.
My bad. I let my inherent personal bias affect your title this week, and I apologize for that.
Actually, kind of funny, exactly 1 year ago when we were recording was when I was in lockdown because my entire house had COVID.
Oh,
That's
no.
right.
And I was locked in a room for a month.
That was a year
Not getting
ago. Oh
COVID.
my gosh.
Like a boss. Still haven't gotten it. Let's go.
He's tempting fate with
Yes.
that.
Also joining us, though, is the beautiful
You
Mr.
can just
Tyler.
say Tyler. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. No pomp and circumstance over here. Yeah, everybody's just trying to stay safe. Since we're talking about health and safety protocols. My kid's daycare got closed because a kid's parent tested positive for COVID, so that's dope. But hey, I get a day off because of it, so
You get to hang with
It is what
your
it
kid
is.
for a day. I mean, that's
heck yeah.
that's not
Tomorrow's
bad.
gonna be great.
Yeah.
She's gonna watch Dune for the first time. It's gonna be awesome.
Dude, you're starting her young. I like it.
That's right. That's right. She watched Book of Boba Fett with me tonight. And by watched, I mean she stared at my face as I watched Book of Boba Fett.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that.
Do we have to?
So
It probably would be
Yes.
good. It probably would be good to talk about.
I think we need to, but I don't really want to.
Well, we'll see. We'll figure out if we're the with the mainstream of the internet and how they feel about this week's episode, or if we're on this side of the line. Who knows? But yeah,
Sounds like we're in a strike.
that's right. Yeah. What'd you guys do this week? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. We're already a couple minutes in. We got to talk about our weeks. Did you guys do anything?
I did some things.
What?
What'd you do?
I can kick us off. I've kind of already talked to Brett a little bit about this. But I, in fact, beat Halo Infinite this weekend. I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a good time. I think it provided the closure some of the story needed, and I think it provides opportunities for them moving forward that are intriguing. And I think all in all, it's a good Halo experience. I would recommend people play this. I do have some pros and cons I wanted to quickly go through, but I'll go through cons first. I like the open world, but I don't think Halo needs an open world. I think they can do it if they implement it better as part of the story in the future. Brett, I kind of texted you this. It just kind of feels like at one point you're just tossed in there, and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, go for it if you want." And it's kind of strange, right? Like because I think the open world gameplay is fun.
Yeah.
But other than just leveling up my equipment, I don't really feel like it serves a purpose.
They do. It's a little more structured than something like Breath of the Wild, where it's like,
I would agree.
do whatever you want. Here's no absolutely
Go.
zero direction. But yeah, like I felt that there were especially certain areas of the map, of the open world map that felt neglected because of that. That I didn't like until the last part of the game when I was like, oh yeah, I never went up to this kind of north area. Did I actually go back there? And there wasn't really anything there. And I think an early mission, in kind of introducing you to the open world concept, could have provided an opportunity to like lay the groundwork a little better for, hey, here's the open world, here's what you're doing. They do that in a sense, but I don't think the whole map's utilized real well in that function.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think it's a cool like biome, I'd say, but it definitely needed some more, just more to do. Like there's a lot of things to clear off your map, but it really doesn't attribute much from a story standpoint. I mean, yes, there's audio logs and stuff, but I would have liked to have been like true traditional side missions.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think that would be good because then you get a little more story as to why you're here and what's going on this ring. But that's probably my biggest con. I think the open world, while it is fun because I think it's cool to traverse the map as Master Chief with grapple. It bogs the story down a bit, and there's that. But then I'll turn around and immediately go to a pro. The linear portions of this game are fantastic. The third act of this, when you enter the spire or whatever that thing is, I'm gonna call it a spire because that's what it looks like to me. When you enter that spire, this is one of the best Halo experiences you can ask for. It's so fun.
I was curious. I'll try to ask this without any spoilers.
Okay.
There is a part of the third act where you're fighting Banished in kind of these arenas. What did you think of how did you like that? Did you like? I figured you when we had texted, you weren't
so
quite there.
Good.
I was like, I'm excited for him to get there.
Oh, it's so good, and it reminds me of another game, but I can't say it without spoiling. It'll be way too obvious. But it reminds me of another game that we were very fond of on this podcast. But man, it was so sick. And hearing kind of Escherum talk about it and why it exists, I was like, yo, this is dope.
It's interesting. Escherum
cool.
becomes a really cool bad guy 2/3 of the way through this game. I wish it could have been a little earlier, but I mean, yeah, he's pretty cool.
And I think it's because it's because of the open world part, though. It just bogs it down. Yeah. It loses its focus for a bit. Like it's very focused at the beginning, and it's like if you're drawing a line, right? Like it kind of does this, and then it jumps to another line for a bit, then it comes back and it just completes its line. It's super weird. But man, no, seriously, it's one of the better Halo experiences, that I can remember. I highly, highly recommend people play this. The third act is worth it, in my opinion. I'm not much for, if I'm not enjoying something, I'll just stop playing it. I'm the same way with books. Like if I'm not enjoying something, I'll just stop reading it. I'm not gonna force myself through. But the third act in this is absolutely worth it if you're kind of feeling bogged down by the open world. Because I got to a point because I was going to level up all my abilities, and I just decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go forward. I want to see where this thing goes. And I think the open world works best when you're attributing the open world to the story. Like you had talked about the anti-aircraft guns section. That part is when the open world works great. That's when it's at its best, and it just only gets there like once or twice. Yeah. So, but no, I'll give it a fanboy worthy. Halo Infinite's campaign was a ton of fun. I do hope one of your predictions is right, Brett. I really would like to see more of Joseph Staten kind of having some fun with his story, because I think you can see where his impact was pretty clearly. And I had a ton of fun with it. I was texting you, I was texting Lepke because I know you guys have both beaten it. And I was just kind of like, man, there's some really good Master Chief lines down the
Yes.
stretch of this game that just really get you pumped up and feeling good.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, kudos to the
there's
writing
a line
team for sure.
yes, they did a really good job. There's a line I want to talk to you about. That's a spoiler.
I
I'll
can't
talk about
wait.
it here, but I definitely want to talk to you about it because it's a really good one. And then moving on, I think we all did this. I watched the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker.
Oh yeah.
On HBO
Yep.
Max. This is James Gunn's Suicide Squad spinoff TV show that if I'd predicted 2 years ago, I would have gotten a point. No, I mean this is I love this. This is fantastic. This is way crazier than I thought it was going to be in all the best ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why in my head I thought they would tone it down for this, but they ratcheted it way up, and I love it. It's absolutely not for everybody, but oh my gosh, it knows what it is, and it leans hard into that, and I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. And John Cena is freaking incredible as Peacemaker. He's so funny.
It's his favorite character that he's ever done for me. It's my favorite character that he's ever done. Excuse me. It's the one that I feel like fits.
Not the WWE movie The Marine.
Not
Dom's brother. Oh. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think I just think he's the world's most lovable D-bag in this show, and I think it's so great.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah, they turn that really fast. Coming out of Suicide Squad, you really don't. I mean, most people, I don't think, had a lot of empathy for Peacemaker. They were happy or fine with seeing him dead at the end of that. And the fact that within like the first 10 minutes of the show, I'm rooting for him again all of a sudden, like, good job. Good job. Yeah, at least by the end of the first episode, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too, I think the bigger conversation that this show is trying to have is really interesting. In that, there's among others, right? But the one that stands out to me is the idea of, and for lack of a better term, I'm going to say bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that bigotry is learned, it's not inherent. I think there's a really interesting story kind of being cooked underneath there that I'm really curious to see how it pans out. I really, really enjoy what they're going for. And I just love that, with their humor, with that through line kind of message behind it, they're not afraid to lean into like what's wrong with the world. And I just think that's, in a time where it's easy to be canceled for the smallest things, this show's not afraid to say what it wants to say.
Yeah, I mean, it deals with, you kind of talk about bigotry, sexism, racism, LGBTQ issues. Like, it's not that it's not afraid, because I think there's a lot of, I'll say, bigots out there who aren't afraid to talk about things.
Right.
But it's saying it in a way that it's wanting to have a conversation about it, I feel like. And obviously it has a position on it, which is fine, but it's also not, it's not being a bigot in itself, in and of itself.
Correct. Also,
nailed it.
Words are hard.
Shout out James Gunn for making fun of the Washington football team name. I'm all about it. I love it. Great. Keep doing it.
Yep, I'm very excited for the rest of this series.
Yes.
So,
and Vigilante might steal the show for me.
Yeah,
he cracks me up, man. And Freddie Stroma, is that who plays him? He's so funny. Like when he is like doing his face stuff because he doesn't want to be recognized.
Yeah.
Man, I was laughing so hard.
Well, and I love too, like after that, Peacemaker's like, wait a minute, are you are you Gut Chase's younger brother? Like, because he couldn't tell. I was just like, oh man, this is so good, so good.
Yes, JT in the chat. I am very excited.
Yeah, so good.
Really good stuff.
Gosh, there was one other thing I was going to mention. I don't know. I'll think of it later, I'm sure.
I don't know if we can go too much into spoilers with it, but I was very surprised by the cameo we got in the first episode. It might have been the second episode. I don't really even remember.
I think it's beginning of the second episode. I was pretty shocked by that
Oh,
too.
yeah, that was pleasant because it's a character who I did not necessarily think would be not willing.
It's somebody that's super important to this group of characters, and in the fact that they got her to show up was awesome.
Yep. Hoping to see more. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Batmite
coming.
That was
dropping
great.
the deep.
Gunn has always wanted to do something Batmite, so the fact that he got to drop that in is cool.
He's showing up at the end of this show, 100%. Especially with how Peacemaker's afraid of what does he call him? I don't know the word, but he's effectively afraid of like little people.
Oh.
And Batmite being like super small and compact, I really feel like it's gonna happen.
Love it.
It's gonna be good. Gunn just always goes balls to the wall, and it never really gets tiresome.
Nope. I love it.
It's great. I'm really excited to watch the rest.
Luke, what'd you do this week? Anything exciting?
Well, besides Boba Fett, which we can hold off a little bit. First thing I did was I played a lot of Destiny this week. It was Iron Banner. So there's each character can have 4 pinnacle bounties. So I made sure to do all those for Witch Queen prep, so I can level up really quick when that comes out. But it was weird. Usually, Destiny PvP is kind of a slog, but I actually had a pretty great time. I finally figured out how to kind of optimize my guns and loadouts in a way that I can actually do quite well.
Mm-hmm.
I normally have fun, but I'm pretty average to above average when it comes to PvP type games. Yeah. But I gotta say, I was cooking pretty nice on Saturday. It was
nice.
Fun. But yeah, I'm really excited for Witch Queen. The 2 big things that I did this week was, first off, was I beat Ratchet and Clank on the PS5, and wow, that game was so much fun. If you have a PS5 and haven't played it, please play it. It is fantastic. It's beautiful looking. The graphics are incredible, and just the motion that goes on, like there's never any frame droppage or anything. It looks so good. It's so smooth and crisp. And then the lighting with all the bright colors and everything just blends so well together. The other thing is, I kind of talked a little bit about it last week, but it's just a funny, heartfelt, fun game. Like, I just played it and I felt so good while I did it, which was just awesome. Like, if Rivet and KT or Kit are talking, or it's Clank and Rivet or Ratchet and Kit, like, they just have these wonderful, heartfelt conversations, but it's kind of like more like an animated movie where it's not super deep, but it still hits pretty hard. Which was really cool. The final level I freaking loved. There's a lot of boss fights throughout, but I feel like this boss fight just really went crazy, and I was fighting this giant robot, and I was loving it. And at this point, I've just got so many guns, and I was just having a blast. And the villain is really fun to fight. Nefarious. I don't know if it's spoiler or not, but it's multi-dimensional, so there might be another one. And I thought his voice actor was awesome. He's like really funny, but also like kind of scary, which I thought was really cool, especially when you compare it to the Nefarious that's on like from Ratchet's world, who's like this loser. And this new one is like he's a bad dude. It was also awesome. If you play it and beat it, please do not skip the credits. There's nothing to watch, but there's a fantastic song to listen to. And it's a character singing. And it was so awesome. I actually listened to that song quite a bit. Because just in general too, the soundtrack is fantastic. It's Mark Mothersbaugh and another guy that I'll look up here soon. Mark Mothersbaugh did more rap.
Okay.
Rock.
Yeah, that's a good soundtrack.
Wataru Hokoyama also helped on it.
Nice.
But man, it's a booyah. Play it as soon as you can. I would say it is just so good.
I guess I forgot to mention I bought a PlayStation 5 this week.
What?
Yeah, I should have it tomorrow.
Show it to us. Oh,
I can't.
Pixar didn't
I can tell you
happen.
the game. Yeah, well, if I get it tomorrow, I'll send pics.
Let's clip that out of context.
Yeah, I'll upload the. Here, I'll give you more unnecessary context to clip out of. I'll upload the pics to my OnlyFans account.
Yes.
Finally, some content.
Spicy.
Some content I can pay for.
As your lone subscriber.
I just mooch off of Luke. We share login credentials.
I love it. Yeah, nope. So I'll be joining Luke in the fun foray of PlayStation 5 games. I'm really excited.
The PS5 is nuts, and I'm really excited for you to play it. None of y'all ever came over and looked at my PS5, so
you live on the other side of town, and
I live 15 minutes
like
away.
An hour at least.
Luke, I'll bring my PS5 over, and we can just sit down and have a game sesh.
I'll come over there.
Okay.
There's no room here for us to hang out all day.
Bring a TV.
I have in my office chair, and they're quite close to each other. It might be a little. We can take pics and put it on your OnlyFans.
There you go. I was gonna say I don't see a problem with this. All I hear is.
Oh, good lord.
Sorry. What?
But yeah,
I apologize.
I love it.
I know you are probably gonna play Returnal first, but I'm really excited you to get to Ratchet and Clank. It was really good. It's a booyah.
My first two games are going to be Ratchet and Clank and Returnal. Because of some of the mechanics of Returnal, there's definitely going to be days where I don't have time to play it.
Yeah.
So on those days, my intention is to play Ratchet and Clank.
That's also one of the great things about it. It's not a super long game. There's like one side quest per world. You can do it. If you don't, you won't get an outfit, which is fine. None of that stuff is really important. I would do some of them sometimes just because they're so easy. But most of the time, they're just really fun. Like, here, go search for this treasure. Okay, let's go fight some robot pirates. Let's do it. But it's a short story game, which is like probably my second favorite type of game, as opposed to something that's longer, like I guess The Last of Us. But just here's a narrative game. It's my favorite. I love it. But the last thing I did, I finally went and saw West Side Story.
Yes.
just the timing was not great to go see this, and I finally had time. It was a very cold day, but I said, I'm seeing this freaking movie. So I put on a coat and I went.
And what'd you think?
Oh my gosh. You know, here's the problem. Why did I ever doubt Steven Spielberg could make a freaking great movie?
It's a good question.
Because the entire time as I'm getting excited for this movie to come out, I watch Joe, I'd be really excited. I'd always have to be like, it's not going to be as good as the original, but it will probably sound better because, you know, mics and audio quality is better now.
Technology.
Yeah.
I'd say it is, if not better, it's definitely not worse, but it's definitely as good as the original West Side Story.
Nice.
It is incredible. Spielberg crushed it. The cast crushed it. I mean, and it's like the last 20 minutes, and I'm just like sitting in my chair going, please make it through. You got this. Come on, Spielberg, just change the story so I can see a happy ending. It's West Side Story. Man, the music and the audio quality, so good. Rachel Zegler, she is a new actress, and she played Maria, the female lead. Holy cow. She's freaking good in this. And she can sing like a mother trucker, man. Man, she's so good. I was like in love with her singing voice, and she has this beautiful soprano voice, and man, I was just all about it. Kind of the things that really stuck out, though, one was visually the movie is incredible. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that actually looks like it was filmed in 1960.
Oh, yeah.
But is like still crisp and clean and looks like it was filmed in 2020. Right. I was like mind blown. I don't even really know how to describe it. Because it, like, from out of one eye, it looks very similar, like even like film grainy to like the 60s movie, but it still looks beautiful in like 4K quality, like films are now. So, and like it was meshed together so incredibly, and I was like, for the first 20 minutes I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I had to keep telling myself to like pay attention, stop focusing on how it looks. The entire cast is great. I should have brought up IMDb so I can get these people's names. The girl who plays Anita is really good too. Just like the main four, so good. I cried really hard during this movie, man. I needed a good cry too.
I cried at a YouTube video the other day. It was a good YouTube video.
One thing that I was not expecting, which I thought was a really cool change, was the character of Doc. In the original musical, the drugstore is ran by this older guy, and they call him Doc. In this one, Doc is dead, and it's played. His wife is played by Rita Moreno, who was Anita in the original, in the 1961 original movie. And Anita is the Puerto Rican girl, brother of Bernardo. Or not brother.
Yeah, we understood.
Boyfriend. Yeah. Big difference there. Big difference. It was a really cool change, and it worked really well. especially because of like all the racial divides that take place in this movie, and her being Puerto Rican, but kind of find solace in this place, and they're okay with her.
Yeah.
And the sharks are okay with her, but they still like are just so racist towards each other, and she's like this middle ground. And it was a really good change. I really liked it. But man, my expectations were all over the place for this one, and it really blew me away. I really encourage people to watch it when they get the chance. It's a classic. It's a great remake of a classic. Spielberg, it's his passion project, and he knocked it out of the park.
That's what makes me so happy.
Yeah. Dude, I freaking so many good musicals this year. Obviously, not you, Hanson, because I heard you were so bad. But In the Heights and West Side Story, all in my top 10. 2 of them are in my top 5. Like that's crazy, man.
Which one did you say was bad?
Dear Evan Hansen, I heard, was terrible.
Oh yeah, that movie got panned pretty hard.
I didn't even see it because it was getting raked by critics and audience.
Yeah.
This one's an easy booyah though. Watch it. It's freaking great. I know lots of people don't like musicals for some reason. But man, it's really good. It will pull at those heartstrings, man. It's a classic love tragedy. Watch it. Ooh, real quick. Something that is really cool, but I feel like I should say, I did know this going in because I saw an interview with Spielberg. There's a lot of Spanish in this movie, and there is no subtitles. And I think it just goes to show how well their performances and direction are in this movie, because never once did I go, I don't know what they're talking about, and I don't know what's going on. They can just convey through different language and through physical acting what is going on, and they did it really, really well.
That's awesome.
That is.
I like when movies do that.
Yeah, yeah. That is one that I may try and slip out and see before it gets out of theaters, but I'll definitely. So actually, or is it out now? Is it gone?
Oh, I don't know, but it's in the little theater right now.
Okay.
Like in our theater in Wichita, if you go in, it's to the left in like the first 5. Underrated. Those little theaters are so underrated. Nobody's there because the movie's been out so long. The sound isn't like blaring loud, and the screen is just nice and tight. It's right there. You know what? Underrated.
Underrated theater experience. The more in little theaters. Good to know.
It felt like my little personal home theater, but like after drinking a Monster.
If you had spent like $10K on your personal theater. Yeah.
We're gonna, y'all are gonna have to go see it.
Yes, we will.
It's so good.
Well, cool. Anything else this week, Luke?
Just Boba Fett, I think.
Well, we can jump into Boba Fett then. I really didn't do much. I kept watching Lost in Space. I'm 2 episodes away from finishing the current season. It's really good. I'm still they lost. Are, man, the Robinsons are constantly getting lost. They're like every couple episodes they're like back on track, and then something happens and then get lost again.
They should find a new professor.
Or get rid of their kids.
The problem is they're kind of lost in space. They can't find a new profession until they get unlost.
Just call 411.
I also after our discussion last week, I restarted the Dragon Prince. Gosh,
let's go.
That series is so good. Ugh, so good.
Yes.
The first season's a little slow, but that's just because of how much it picks up in the second. So, but then
dude, that show's
then I watched episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett, and boy, was this a roller coaster of an episode.
It is bad. I'll just say it is really bad.
I would agree.
It did something that I wanted it to do, which is commit to focusing on present day Boba. At least I think that's where it's going.
I would agree with that.
I did not appreciate the
that
execution, no pun intended, of how that happened. Yeah, no, you guys give your thoughts.
I just don't. I don't like. I feel like Star Wars has an identity, right? Like, there's just some things that are very much Star Wars, and some things when they don't fit that identity, they just kind of take you out of it. And the Vespas just completely took me out of this.
What?
Like completely. Like that little street crew shows up, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this is.
It's one of those things where when I hated it when I watched it, and I saw in the credits they do the cool like concept art pieces, and I was like, in the concept art, I was like, okay, it doesn't look bad. Like I could see how that, but the translation from concept art to final piece did not work for me at all.
It looked terrible. It looked like
the slowest chase.
Well, and how do you go?
Ever.
How do you go from a fantastic? I harped a little bit like, it just kind of felt like in episode 2, the train chase scene felt a little bit like something from the Mandalorian, but like pacing wise, it felt great. And then they have this super slow inner city bicycle chase, little moped. It did not work for me at all.
And it was filmed so poorly. It looked so slow. Yeah.
Here's one reason. Robert Rodriguez didn't direct the second episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know
and
that.
This was like, I feel like I could watch this, not know it was Star Wars, and be like, did Robert Rodriguez do this? It looked like Spy Kids.
You know what? You're not wrong. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, you're not
wrong. Ugh.
Unfortunately.
It was so poorly executed. It was so bad. But like, even we could harp on that the whole time. But I think the biggest, most dumbest thing in this entire episode isn't even the race. It's the street race. Yeah. Clarify. It's the characters on the Vespas and the decision to recruit them and then just let the Wookiee dude go.
Oh.
Why not keep him
well,
around?
And so going back to Tyler's point on Star Wars has an identity, that like I want to see more of the Wookiee. I get that you want to introduce new characters, but like the Wookiee is awesome. Like maybe
he's awesome,
there's a potential for him to come back, but like why? Yeah,
it's supposed to be like the most badass Wookiee or whatever. Gladiator Wookiee. He gets beat up by the Apple Buttercreek gang. Like,
oh,
golly.
Eesh. Yeah.
I couldn't. And it's a shame too, because like I was hoping there would still be more past stuff, and I guess that's just gone. The stuff in the past. I know it's not what you guys necessarily wanted for the longevity of the show, but I thought that was the best part of all of it.
I think
it's just done.
Yeah.
It was what it looks like anyway.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier when
I think he'll go crew.
Yeah. I there is opportunity, I guess, still with the fact that there are additional, like there are more Tusken Raider tribes out there that he comes across, but it seems like such a waste. And and my opinion or my feelings on the flashback stuff and the present day stuff is this weird, like I wanted to focus more on the present day, but I thought the stuff in the past was good. It's just I didn't think it's not what I was expecting. from the show to spend 70% of its runtime in the past each episode, and they've completely changed that. But I thought it was good stuff, and it seemed like it ended so abruptly in such a careless manner. I use careless as maybe too harsh of a word. Obviously, there could be more stuff that makes that feel better down the line, but as of right now, it was just kind of like, oh, I guess we're just gonna kill off the. Oh, spoilers, I guess. We're just gonna, just eliminate this whole group of people. I guess the problem I have with it right now is that it hasn't informed any of his decisions. If that action informs his character more down the line, then it makes more sense storytelling wise, and I'm sure it will. But we don't see any. All we see in this episode, we go from this guy who had this very tight relationship with a group of people that brought him in and accepted him from nothing to he's trying to be this like crime boss, and yeah, he's not the worst, he's not the worst crime boss, but like there's this lack of, I don't know, cohesiveness there that. You're right, Luke. I hope they figure it out. I hope it connects.
Well, I mean, they've even alluded to it with the other gang, like that even kills all the Tuskens. They do all the spray painting every time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I imagine it's whoever is the main bad, it probably employs those guys, and he's gonna go bananas on them or something. I think the big problem too is we have this, like, we see Boba in the past. And we like him in the past with the Tuskens, and then we have him as a daimyo. The rest, like, we have him in. We don't even know that much about Boba Fett. I feel like we're like seeing the two like weird portions of a story that aren't cohesive together.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Lepke over in the chat says they're doing the same thing as The Mandalorian, getting the team together, every episode adding new pieces, all coming together for the big fight at the end. So, is that Wookiee going to come back at the end and be a teammate? Probably. Probably.
Dude, I freaking hope they turn Boba into another meme.
He'll claim the gift of surprise for freeing him.
Oh.
And then Geralt will show up.
I still haven't finished The Witcher Season 2.
Haven't even started. I hope they keep Boba as a meme and the Hutt twins show up and they're just like, they just own them. And they're like, surprise, it's a Hutt gangster show.
The Hutt stuff has been interesting too. There's just,
they look weird.
But I mean, the fact that they're full CG and it's got a lower budget, I can forgive a little bit of that. But I haven't been.
Their eyes look funny.
I've been enjoying the show overall, but I'm wondering if I'm enjoying the show because I like Star Wars, and for the most part, it's Star Wars. And the further we get into the story, the less I'm intrigued by it, and the less I care about it. But we'll see. I get to judge each episode by its piece, but then we'll see at the end of the day, at the end of the run, the whole season, how we feel.
There's only 7 episodes?
Yeah, I think 7 is what they said. Yeah.
Oof. They better get it going.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think that's enough about Boba. Let's talk about trailers. Were there any new trailers to drop? Has the Moon Knight trailer dropped yet tonight?
I was looking before this and I didn't see it.
It's supposed to drop during the game, which is like happening now.
Yeah, it's a blowout.
Is it really? I haven't even checked.
Yeah, the Rams are murdering the Cardinals.
Notification from ESPN that says, "Oh no, Kyler."
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So we are getting a Moon Knight trailer that's probably dropping at some point during the show. We'll talk about it next week.
20-second,
Oh yeah, the little teaser, I guess,
15-second
looked
thing.
intriguing.
I'm excited for that show.
Me too.
I'm hoping it'll be different. Plus, Oscar Isaac is great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's enough for
I
me,
think
really.
I'm there too. I know nothing about Moon Knight, but Oscar Isaac is awesome, so I'm excited to learn more about Moon Knight.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
We did get another Witch Queen trailer.
Oh yeah, over in video game world, the Destiny 2 Witch Queen did get a trailer that looked good.
We actually got another one today, little 20-second
Yeah.
one.
I think their marketing's really starting to, pick up
Pick up.
it. So we'll probably get
What are we, 3 weeks
Let's
one
away?
each week. Yeah, that sounds like 4. Isn't it like
a month.
22nd?
It's about 4 weeks. The
Yeah.
22nd.
Okay. I thought
4
for
days
some reason
after
I thought it was
Horizon.
like the 4th.
No,
4 days
not
after
that
Horizon
early in the
comes out.
month.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
brutal, man.
I'm currently on the
Dude.
Halo hype train still, but I am excited for Witch Queen, and the trailers are working more so than the Game Awards trailer, so I'm here for it.
Yeah. Hyped for Witch Queen. Let's go. I'm hyped. Let's go.
But yeah,
Any other
I
trailers?
don't think so.
I don't
have
have
any
any more
No,
trailers.
must not been any big ones. So we can move over into news then real quick. I don't think there was any new messages in chat. No new messages in chat. No. All right. Scream opened this week. Holy crap.
Dude, it's killing it.
$34 million debut for Scream in January. What the heck timeline are we living in?
It had the biggest Thursday opening of a January movie, I think.
I'm so confused. And it's getting really good reviews. I'm going to have to go see this.
Not used to these January movies being good.
I know.
You also let me know
I've
how
always
it is.
kinda I've always kind of liked the Scream movies, so I'm very curious, Brett. If you end up going to see it,
I'll let
me
you know.
I might go with you.
Yeah. Well,
And vice
we'll
versa.
try. Yeah, please do. But yeah, that's kind of the, Spider-Man no longer the top domestic box office movie for the first time in 4 or 5 weeks. So
4 weeks, I think it was. Yeah.
yep, crazy for Scream, but that's great. Luke, Tyler, what do you guys got? No screaming.
In movie land, Black Panther 2 resumed filming today.
That's right.
It is resumed filming, and rumor has it that Winston Duke is taking on a bigger role in the film.
Hyped for that.
I'm starting
news.
to feel. I'm hyped for that news, but I'm starting to feel kind of nervous about this movie because it just feels like it feels kind of.
What should we do?
Yeah,
Like that?
it doesn't feel like they know, like they have much direction right now,
Mm.
and I trust Ryan Coogler to make a good movie. But I am a little concerned with the decisions they're making moving forward with that character. I really hope they get it right.
It's probably one of the hardest, other than a Star Wars sequel, it's probably one of the hardest sequels to make, just with with the fact that
With how everything kind of
yeah,
transpired.
not just because it's a sequel to Black Panther, but because it's a sequel to a Black Panther that was incredibly well received, whose lead passed away, but yet still existed in the other Marvel movies for a time. So yeah, where do you go? I don't know. That's
a
hard movie to make. So.
I'm glad I'm not in charge.
Yeah. So very tough there. Luke, you got a news story?
I don't think any of us care about this. The only reason I bring it up is because I jokingly said Disney Plus is probably going to remake the Santa Claus.
Oh, yes.
Well, Tim Allen is remaking the Santa Claus on Disney Plus
as a series.
There you go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I mean, rumor has it, right, that it's more like a sequel series, and it's him trying to find his replacement. He just needs to go fall off a roof. I mean, that's obviously the easiest way to do it.
Dude, some of the theories around like the Santa Claus though are so great about like how all the elves hated that Santa.
Yeah.
So they like made sure that he like slipped and died.
It was sabotage.
Oh, dude, so good.
Netflix is raising its prices at least in the United States and the UK or in Canada. This is going to put Netflix, at least the top tier option, the 4K streaming option, at the highest price point for a streaming service. I don't have the highest tier, but it still hurts more than I thought it would to jump from like $13 or $13.50 to $15.75. Like,
that's what we're at now too.
It's just it's having me second guess, and I might be getting to the point where I grab a service for a month or two and then cancel it and then grab it when I'm interested again. I don't know, but we are getting to the critical mass of how many can I have / am I actually willing to pay for?
Yeah.
Pretty soon, people are going to be stitching those cords back together.
That's right. If only there was a way.
Yeah.
To bundle things, dude. Now, Kate.
At least Netflix is like the one. I think one of the two, or it's like I use it a lot.
Yeah.
HBO and Amazon, feel like I'm using all the time. But man, we even talked about this in our group chat. You can't keep making $200+ million movies and not really get an increase in subscriptions. So you have to keep raising your price.
Yeah.
There's no reason that Red Notice should cost $200 million. I don't care how expensive the rock is. Find somebody else.
Well, and part of the economics of filmmaking, it hinges on a theatrical release and making a ton of money there.
Yeah. They need to release.
That is where studios like HBO, not HBO, Warner, and Disney have an advantage in that they can be a lot more selective on, hey, we are like most of our stuff is still going to go to theaters. Yeah, we'll throw a Pixar movie here and there straight onto streaming. But Netflix, I think, is going to need to adapt and understand that if they want to make blockbusters, they have to release it theatrically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to
100%
what Knives Out 2, what they're doing with that, because Rian Johnson, everyone's gonna be like, Brett's bringing up Rian Johnson again. He is such a cinephile, and so many directors are, but I just find it hard to believe that he would sign that deal without a theatrical release clause in there.
The other side of it too is like how theatrical we talking. We talking wide release, or are we talking like what they did for Irishman, which is it's open in this one theater in LA, in this one theater in New York, so we can put it up for the Oscars. Also, Irishman is a bad movie.
Yeah, and from a business perspective, like you do it that way. You do it in the small release just for award season. But I think what we're seeing, what I hope Netflix is seeing with some of the discourse around how people are reacting to the price increase announcement, is that more is not enough for us to just keep being subscribed. So you're going to have to keep your price low enough that more is okay for us to be subscribed. You have to bring in unique content, but then your revenue is going to also have to come from somewhere else. There are, and especially since we're still in, pandemic mode, there are a ton of people there. My parents are a great example of a couple who have not been to a theater in 2.5 years. They would love it if Knives Out 2 comes out on Netflix. But there's people like us. There's obviously plenty of people who are willing to go to the theaters to see Spider-Man. You can have your cake and eat it too. You just have to understand that subscriber count cannot necessarily be your only way to
source of income. Yeah.
It can't be the way you purely you only run your business model off of.
I know a lot of people wouldn't like it. Well, maybe a lot of people would like it. I don't know. People hate and love everything, whatever. But I've been saying for a while now that Netflix needs to do a ad-free or an ad.
Oh, an ad-supported
an ad
plan.
Option.
Yeah.
It was one of my predictions last year because I just thought it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
HBO Max did it.
Yeah. I just picked the wrong one.
Just picked the wrong company.
Hulu's done it forever. Disney has Disney backing them, so they're fine. But I don't think a lot of people know this, that Netflix has never been profitable. They've never made money. They're always just in debt. And Brett, when we were talking about it at dinner, you're like, it's a startup. What would you call it?
Well, it's essentially a tech startup mentality, which is you have an idea. It's the same thing with Uber. Uber's never made money, but you have an idea, you get investors, you get a lot of money, and then you kind of just coast by on the fact that it's like, yeah, eventually we'll have enough business to make a profit, and investors say, okay, we'll trust you. So yeah, I don't really understand it, but
eventually
that's probably because I don't have millions of dollars to invest in things.
Eventually Netflix will be spending so much money and there will be no more subscribers left in the world because everybody will have Netflix and they'll just keep spending more and more money thinking this is the plan. This is how we operate.
Yep. Oh gosh.
Well, moving on from that, on another streaming service, I think, Storm Reed has been cast as Riley in the Last of Us series.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go.
Yep, that's a HBO show.
She was in
very
Tick
excited
Tick
for.
Boom, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So that's super cool.
Yep.
Wonder when that's coming out.
Who is she in Tick Tick Boom?
His girlfriend.
That was Alexandra Shipp.
Different person then.
Storm Reed was Idris Elba's daughter in Suicide Squad.
Storm Reed.
I think she was in. Was she in the X-Men? No, that was Alexandra Shipp.
Maybe she wasn't in Tick Tick Boom.
That was Alexandra Shipp.
Yeah, I confused those two for some reason.
Storm Reed was in, the book that was unfilmable, Ava DuVernay's movie, A Wrinkle in Time. She was
she was in that.
She was Idris Elba's daughter in the Suicide Squad.
When they yell "F you" at each other.
Great scene.
Oh, I also rewatched that movie this week before Peacemaker. That was fun. It's a freaking good movie.
Yes.
Joss Whedon finally responds to all of the Justice League controversy.
In the worst way possible.
Does he not have a PR person? What?
Oh, shut up. Oh, jeez Louise. Just dig that hole deeper, man.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to read today, and just knowing now that that's just going to be a thing in the news for several weeks. Has Ray Fisher tweeted yet?
Oh,
yeah.
What DC movie is WB announcing this week?
Probably that Batgirl's going to be in theaters.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it.
He talks a little bit specifically about Fisher and Gal
Gadot. Yeah.
And is not.
His answer about Godot doesn't help his cause.
No.
I don't understand why he couldn't just be like, yeah, I didn't handle that well.
Yeah.
Just say that. I handled it very poorly. I'm sorry. Done.
It's
I was an ass. And move on. Like, just
even something as like this was like the hardest shoot of my life, coming in to, rewrite a really ambitious movie with such passionate actors, and I understand the circumstances weren't ideal, but we did what the studio essentially wanted us to do. You could even throw the studio under the bus, but he's not even willing to do that.
Yep.
I don't
crazy,
know.
Man. He's not helping
I don't
his
know.
cause.
The free fall continues of his career. Yeesh.
Yeah, he
just
definitely did nothing to help it.
he really does not want to work ever again.
Oh my word.
I mean, like, freaking James Gunn was under fire for stuff. Obviously it wasn't stuff as bad as what like Whedon did, but even Gunn was just like, yeah, I shouldn't have done
I was an
that
idiot
stuff.
like 20 years ago. Yeah, we all were. Well, you guys were like babies, so you weren't. Well, you were idiots of a different kind.
It's kind of crazy how far apologies and forgiveness can
And it
go.
can get you, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
As I'll say, it needs to be sincere though. If you fake it,
That's true.
I have
meaningless.
All right, finish us off in the news, Tyler.
To the Techland, the producers and developers have come out and said that it'll have at least 5 years of post-launch content.
Ooh.
So not even are they doing just the 500 hours
I was
of
going to say.
campaign and extra
My
content at launch.
goodness.
They're going to do 5 years of post-launch content. That's pretty cool. It seems like it's a pretty ambitious project for them. I mean, considering we were talking about this game in 2020, 2019, it's not surprising that this game has gotten as big as it has. Sometimes things get a little too big. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I do like the idea of them being willing to support this for 5 years. I think that's important. I think we're reaching a point, in gaming where games tend to last and have longer life cycles. I mean, look at Destiny 2. Destiny 2's going on what?
4 years.
20
into its 5th year.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So like
4 or
you're
5.
starting to see that become more normal, and I think that's really cool. So I can't wait to get my hands on that game. I really, really liked the first one. If you haven't played it, it's always on a deep sale right now. It's definitely a good time.
Nice.
But that's all I got. I'm ready to talk about some stuff.
I've got 2 more.
Oh, Luke, send us out then.
First one is the Michael Cernosky, who directed Pig, is going to direct Quiet Place 3.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the best one yet, Brett?
I don't know. It's interesting. I think he's a good choice for it based on Pig. I've only seen Pig of his work, but it seems like a good choice, and I think if they can, have a lot of the same team back, yeah, I'm here for it.
Cool. Sweet. The last thing is we got our first look at Leslie Grace in her Batgirl
that's
outfit.
Right. Little was it a production still?
I think so.
Essentially kind of a staged photo op, but
it is based on her Burnsides, her purple motorcycle jacket outfit. I think it looks really good. I know the internet is kind of up in arms saying it looks CW.
The internet always hates production stills of costumes.
Has there ever been a release of a costume where people were like, "Oh, dang, that looks good"?
The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Affleck's Batman. They were like, "Oh, wow!" Yeah. But you know what? Snyder, he's a visual guy. He styled those shoots so well.
Yes, he did.
That doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought the suit looked good. I really like the cowl though. The cowl stands out a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just think her face fits it so well. I don't. It sounds weird to say that. And but for the people who are up in arms about that suit, please remember when this movie was shown off at DC Fandom, the concept art. That is not the final suit. There will be another suit.
Yeah. This is the suit she made.
Yeah, this is her homemade suit. This is her pajama suit. There's also another rumor swirling about this movie. I don't know if you've seen it, Luke.
Yeah, the Dylan O'Brien thing.
The Dylan O'Brien
yeah,
thing. And
my doppelganger.
I don't think I believe it.
The thing is, and I didn't at first, but remember like 3 years ago when they were talking about a Nightwing movie, whose name kept coming up? And it was Dylan O'Brien, whose name kept coming up. And I'm like, man, that's not either. It's somebody piggybacking that rumor from forever ago, or somebody somewhere is hearing something.
They know something.
And I could see her. I could see. It's hard for me to imagine this without Dick Grayson or another Robin in it. I don't know why, but it feels like this is where they'll introduce it.
Well, they certainly, DC is and Marvel too, but like they are not afraid to like give you additional supporting characters from that build out that universe within the story. So
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me.
I'd be
either.
okay with it being Dylan O'Brien, just for the record.
Yeah,
I think he's actually a pretty good actor.
I like Dylan O'Brien.
I'd be fine with it. Just because the rumor is so old, it just feels resurfaced to me. Somebody's like, "Here's an old rumor we can get a bunch of clicks on."
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
True. It'll be interesting as that movie approaches. I hope they don't announce it and it just like happens in the movie and everybody's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
I'd love that too. I'd love that for every movie.
Or it'll be like Dylan O'Brien and Bumblebee, and he'll just be a voice on the other side of a phone.
Man, he was a good Bumblebee, though.
Yeah, he was.
Gosh dang it.
Sweet. Well, should we dive in?
Let's transition over to the 2021 What the Fanboy Awards.
Woo!
We made it.
Yeah.
We made it through 2021. Tyler has some trophies built up for us. Yeah, trophies. We're just picking up whatever cup we have and gonna offer it up as a trophy.
Trophy. No, that's a game. No,
there's also blurry.
It is.
Yeah,
All right.
Turn my blur back on.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through. We had an online poll where you could submit what your favorites were. So we're going to go through that list, and then at the end, if we have enough time, we may talk about some extra categories that we didn't mention in the survey. But starting off, 2021 Fanboy Awards, the best streaming service. What we'll do here is we'll kind of go through the answers that people gave, and then we will come up with our own what we think. And based on the combination of kind of where we're what we're feeling plus the people's vote, we'll announce a winner.
The people.
With 9.1% of the vote, Amazon Prime came in fourth place on the people's vote. Netflix came in third with 18%. And then we actually have a tie for first, which is where this is where our opinion will probably sway this. Disney Plus had 36% of the vote, and HBO Max had 36% of the vote. So
wow,
an interesting Netflix there losing out to two newer services.
Because they keep raising that price.
I think most of these votes were cast before the price increase was announced, but
yeah.
I just kind of want to go around the horn. Tyler, what's your pick for best streaming service?
I chose HBO Max.
HBO Max, and reasoning?
Movies, day and date, and I like the properties that Warner has.
For sure. I love it. Luke?
I'm a DC nerd.
I actually didn't know which one I should pick. I was thinking about doing Netflix because they put out a lot of my favorite things this year,
Mm-hmm.
but they also put out Army of the Dead, which is the worst thing I've ever seen. So I chose HBO,
Hey,
but
let's
mainly
go.
because of day and date in a year where nothing was really quite sure of what we were going to be able to watch.
Yeah.
Warner said, "You know what? We'll let you watch it."
Yep.
And they knew people weren't going to like it, and a lot of people didn't, but it gave people the opportunity to watch something and just kind of disappear from this crazy world for a bit and watch something great like The Suicide Squad and Dune and all these great movies that would have just bombed because of
Judas
COVID.
and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of good stuff on there.
Yep.
Yeah, like movies that I wouldn't even thought about watching. Like, would I have watched The Little Things? Maybe. But because of the day and day release, I watched it like that weekend, and I had a great time watching it.
Yep.
Brett, what would you choose?
I would also
Or what did you
choose
choose?
HBO Max. And that
Oh my God.
same exact reasoning, because in a year where people were still hesitant, rightfully so, to get out to the movie theater, they were putting out new releases without a additional paywall.
Yeah, that's big too.
Disney Plus loses clout for me because of how they did their premiere releases.
The premium access.
I get from a
program or
business
whatever.
perspective why you do that, but from a consumer perspective, I thought how they did it on HBO Max was great. So I think I'm pretty. It's pretty easy to say here that we all have elevated HBO Max to the 2021 streaming service of the year. Congratulations, Warner Brothers, and soon to be parent company Discovery. We'll see if you can retain
Wait
that.
for that check
Well,
in the mail,
it'll be
Warner.
interesting to see next year if the lack of new releases, day and date movies on there, maybe makes room for another contender. We'll see.
Peacock coming in hot.
I listed
Plus.
Dude, the Olympics,
Peacock,
baby. They're on
Peacock
there.
was an option. People could vote for Peacock. This one was not a write-in. Because I didn't want to have to put in Crunchyroll. There's just so many little streamers that I was like, we're gonna limit it to the top 8 or 9.
Where's Tubi?
Dude, we should have chose Game Pass.
Oh, that's right. Okay, the big one, I guess, over here. I didn't do these in any particular order, so I'm just reading down the list. Best film of 2021. We surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, we have a nice diverse audience here. So we had a great range of answers, submissions. This was one that you could write in whatever you wanted. So we had, let's see, House of Gucci, got a nom. Revue Starlight, that is a anime, got a nom. Encanto, got a nom. And then we start getting into ones that got multiple votes. In the Heights, with 16% of the vote. Spider-Man No Way Home. We had actually In the Heights, because we had, this is the quirky part about letting people write it in. Sometimes they spell things wrong or differently. And so In the Heights actually had 24% of the vote. Yeah.
Hey.
No Time to Die also came in with 24%. And the winner, far and away, with 35% of the vote, is Dune.
Wow.
So
Wow.
people liked Dune this year.
Oh,
Interesting.
Sci-fi's coming back.
Making a comeback,
That's
baby.
that's awesome.
Tyler, what is your best movie of 2021?
So I'm gonna be honest. I knew this question was going to come, at some point tonight, and I kept telling myself that I was going to sing one of the songs from this movie during this moment, and I just do not have the stones to do
Oh,
it. So
man.
mine was In the Heights.
Look at the fireworks. Look at the fireworks.
Luke will sing it for you.
I was gonna do Benny's Dispatch since it's so short. But yeah, no, In the Heights was mine. I went to an early screening of this earlier this year, and I remember stepping out of that screening and being like, I got to tell the guys about this, but I don't want to hype it up too much. I don't want it to not work because like it was the first time in my life I liked the movie so much that I almost doubted myself. I was like, am I just over, like, do I like this too much?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you see something, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like can't miss. And then you start to tell people and you're like, oh, but what if they don't like it? And they're like, and so I was really nervous, but this is my favorite movie of the year. It has been since I've seen it. I did not feel like that was going to change. There are some really, really, really good movies that came out this year.
Yeah.
But this one just holds that top spot for me pretty safely.
Nice. All right, Luke.
There was a lot of really good movies this year.
I have more booyahs this year than past.
Dude, me too.
Right? I've got so many.
Yep.
But yeah, it's In the Heights for me. But it isn't even a question of what was your favorite movie of the year. It was obvious once I saw it because this isn't just my favorite of the year. This is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot make it 5 minutes into this movie without starting to cry.
Yeah.
Because I just know what's coming. I just can't help it.
I love it.
Man, it's just a movie about dreaming.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it
just hits.
It's in the top 3 for me for this year for sure. It's good. It's so good.
Also,
Yeah,
that was on HBO Max as well.
it was.
That was a day and date HBO Max movie. Just fun fact.
Yep.
Mm.
My vote for best film of 2021 goes to Mr. James Bond and No Time to Die.
Let's go.
Nice.
Part of it may be that theater experience of, finally having a theater with people back in it and watching a really good movie, an emotional arc. It's kind of the end of an era for Daniel Craig. It all just hit so good for me. It all worked. My kind of slide in, and I didn't throw it in there because I'm not sure how much of it's recency bias and how much of it's best versus favorite. Like, I think No Time to Die, I'm happy to say would be the best. I think my favorite from 2021 is Belfast, one that you guys haven't seen yet, but I just fell in love with. But that does not, I don't think either of our comments dethrone Dune from the top spot in the audience. So I guess then it's just up to, are you two willing to fight the Dune crowd?
No.
No.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, wow. Luke,
Dune was number 3 for
sure.
me.
Yeah.
Dune was 4 for me.
Dune's good. I can totally support it getting the Fanboy Award for Best Film of 2021.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, let's move on to Best TV Series. Again, a lot of diversity here, but let me go through. Oh, someone's into animes.
Not that that's bad. We love it.
No, I just don't know them.
great.
I just don't know them.
getting
So if
into
if I mispronounce it, I'm giving myself an out because I've just never heard of it before. Fluorette's Eye Song. Vivi Fluoret's Eye Song. I do not know. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna assume it's an anime. Got a nom. The Witcher. People like The Witcher. It won last year. The Witcher season 1 against all of our protests. It won the People's Choice. It's been the second season has been nominated. Loki got a nom. Hawkeye got a nom. Of course, Disney Plus coming in there, Marvel with those Marvel shows, always gonna get some critical mass. Speaking about mass, Midnight Mass came in with about 18% of the vote. Invincible, also 18%. And then our winner with 20, again, we had a couple people put Ted Lasso, and a couple people put Ted Lasso season 2, so I gotta do some math. 27% of the vote was Ted Lasso, and Ted Lasso wins the People's Choice there. I haven't seen Ted Lasso, so I'm not gonna vote for it, but I'm curious. Let's start with Luke this time, because I think you have seen Ted Lasso. Are you gonna continue that, or are you giving it to someone else?
I'm not going to continue that, but I will justify that decision because Ted Lasso season 2 is incredible. I think it's better than the first season because Ted goes through stuff. Where in season 1 he's happy-go-lucky and it's incredible. In this season, he's that, but more. It's incredible. People need to watch that show. But no, my pick for best of the year is Midnight Mass.
Yes.
Just Flanagan, man. He knows how to get me in there, and just his ability to tell a story through horror is just incredible. And just the roller coaster that the show was. Like just starting in the seats, and then it just blasts off.
Yeah.
I was not as prepared as I should have been for this show, and then just like the religious connotations of what it has to say on hypocrisy through like organized religion. I just think a lot of people need to hear, because a lot of people are just justifying selfish intention through religion. And this has a message to go on with that. There are people that do it right, but there's a lot of people that are hiding wrong messages through the religion.
Sure.
Any religion. And I thought he did that so well. It's so good, man. I really need to watch it again, but there's just so much to watch.
All right, Tyler, what's your pick for best TV series?
Midnight Mass.
Anything to add to Luke's?
No, it's great. There's a member on this podcast who loves when expectations are subverted, Brett. And this is the epitome of doing that. I think this show handles that the perfect way. I think this is that at its best.
Yes, and like you said, you called me out, and I will double down. It's easily my pick for best show of the year. But not just in terms of storytelling. I mean, you're talking about Luke talked about what it has to say. Tyler, you talked about expectations. Everything in between, the acting, the set design, the costuming, the music, it all works, and it works super well. And it's not like it's a I still think it's even like a more approachable horror than some of what his other stuff even. For sure. Because it's not all, blood and gore and slasher-ish. It's got heart, and a horror show story that has heart is I think just the right amount of sweet and salty mixed in together. So
I think
also,
all
that 7-minute long opening shot of the 3rd episode, I think it is. 2nd episode?
the beach.
Incredible.
yeah,
Incredible.
very very cool. Um,
I think all 3 of his Netflix series are like perfect introductions into horror. Just pick one of them and watch it. And I think you'll be very surprised, and it'll introduce you to a new genre.
Indeed. Well, our votes plus the community votes, audience votes, does put Midnight Mass above Ted Lasso season 2, just barely edging it out. Both of those very, very well worth it. I've seen the first episode of Ted Lasso season 2, and I enjoyed it, but and I can say it is good, and Luke gave a great defense of it, but I think it's probably easy for all 3 of us to say Midnight Mass earns this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So congratulations. If you haven't seen it and you're not, if you're not too, some people just don't like horror, and that's okay. Don't watch it. But
Yep.
all right, our next, and this is a category I was super excited to put in this year: most underrated film or TV series, because it's those shows or movies that you really enjoyed that you just didn't hear a lot about, just didn't get a lot of hype, or maybe got not great reviews. Sometimes that happens. I'll read down the list here of what people submitted, starting with a TV show, Reservation Dogs. Luke and I have both watched this.
I have that on my list.
And
I have that on my list, actually.
it's great. It's over on Hulu if you're interested. Definitely can agree with that one.
Fantastic show.
MacGruber over on Peacock. That is a
Awesome.
hilarious parody of a of a show. I haven't watched all of it, but I like what I've seen. Wrath of Man. I'm not actually familiar with that one.
Is that the Jason Statham?
That's the Jason Statham
right.
Guy Ritchie movie, yeah.
Yep, that's right. Taskmaster is a TV series. I'm not sure where
the villain Taskmaster in Black Widow.
I'm not sure where if it streams, or it may be on Channel 4. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. It's a comedy though, so interesting, cool. The Suicide Squad, or I should probably just assume they mean Suicide Squad. Sorry, my window went. The Humans as a movie, and Hacks.
I did hear about that one
from
just
TV.
a little bit.
Someone submitted 2 options. I like that. I'm fine with that. Yeah, Hacks I heard good things about. I was hoping to check that out at some point. But The Harder They Fall, that is a
great
fantastic movie and definitely worthy of being on this list. The Expanse.
Yes. Underrated show. More people need to watch it.
I know. I need to watch it. Sorry, Luke. And
hey, I added it to my list on Amazon, so I'm that much closer.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go, baby.
And then Luca, Pixar's animated film from the summer, late spring, early summers when that was released. Yeah, I love that movie.
Me too. I liked it a lot.
Yep.
It had better scooters in it than Boba Fett.
Yeah. Those Vespas, man. Oh, yeah. Well, real quick, I'll just throw mine in the hat, which is The Harder They Fall. I think this is one of those that deserved a theatrical release. It deserves Oscar noms, and I'm glad it got made over on Netflix, but I think it kind of got buried in the Netflix dump of the
Kirk
month,
Buffalo
right?
movies.
Here's a dump of content for this month, and it
Well,
had a moment, and
a
then
new
it
movie
went,
every
and
week.
it went away. Highly recommended. I think it has some of the best acting of the year, and a fantastic stacked cast. So, along with a really fun story. I say fun, but like it's a good story. It's not funny, but it's fun.
Yeah,
That's
so
humor.
I feel like of the three of us, I think I'm the only person who filled out the survey, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler filled out the
'Cause
survey.
I did, because mine was the harder.
Oh, there we go. All right.
In the survey. Yeah, that was me. I actually screenshotted my survey. That's what I'm reading off of
Oh,
to maintain consistency. But yeah, mine was the harder they fall. I just feel like you said exactly what I was going to say. It was lost in the shuffle this year. It's a stellar movie. It's incredible. It's one of my favorites of the year. I don't. Again, though, like you said, it's in the Netflix movie dump for the year, and everybody's really talking about it. It kind of just got passed over. It was actually pretty high up on my anticipated list after the first trailer came out. I was like, oh man, this looks right up my alley. And man, I was so right. I loved it.
yep.
Luke, what's yours?
I actually have a couple. I won't go into tons of detail with them. Reservation Dogs was one of mine. That show's incredible. The other show I had was Shadow and Bone on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I watched that. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's YA fantasy, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. And the two
Louis
movies I
Tan
have
just
is
got cast in the second season of that.
oh, we did.
Yeah.
Nice. First movie I have is Finch with Tom Hanks. Came out on Apple TV.
Very cool.
It's a dog movie with a robot, and it was really good. The other one I have is Those Who Wish Me Dead, which is the Angelina Jolie firefighter movie, made by Taylor Sheridan. I really had a great time watching that. I really like Taylor Sheridan as a writer and a director.
Yep, those are all really good options. I don't know if I want to.
My main one is
Finch.
It would have been the one I put in the survey.
Nice. Well, I don't know if we didn't necessarily get enough of a definitive winner here to name one as like you should definitely go see all of these. They're all awesome. They're all winners.
Just write.
They're all winners in my book. But Lepke brings up a great point in the chat. If Tyler filled this out, we've been giving him double points.
We have.
Oh, which means we have to
Tyler,
go
you're
back.
throwing.
It doesn't change the first two categories, but best TV series, I think that means Midnight Mass and Ted Lasso tie. So, no.
Yay!
Wait, hold on.
No.
No, that still does.
No, because we would have given him an extra.
It still would.
Yeah.
It would still mean Midnight Mass would win by 1 instead of 2 votes. So it does not. I will definitely take that into consideration in the future. Nick, thank you for pointing that out.
Gosh dang it!
Yeah, I realized after your reaction to The Harder They Fall, I realized that. Not do it. So I was like, wait a minute, he's acting surprised by this.
Oh yeah, these are all anonymous. I have no idea who submitted what. So yes.
Yeah. So sorry about
no,
that,
it's
guys.
it is fine. It just means that we every time we get to try and guess which one Tyler voted for when I read it off of the audience.
Cool. I'm on board. I'm on board.
Best lead performance in a film or TV show, in a movie or a TV show. We have Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Adam Driver, House of Gucci. Daniel Craig, I assume No Time to Die. Hamish Linklater as the priest in Midnight Mass.
Ooh.
He was fantastic. We talked about how much we loved Midnight Mass.
He was very good.
Anthony Ramos in The Heights, or Jason Sudeikis in Ted Lasso. Bo Burnham for Inside. I think that is was that 2021? That was very early 2021, right? Or was that 2020?
Yeah, it was early this year.
I can't remember.
I think that was this year.
I mean, that has been persistent. I've not been able to get Bo Burnham out of my TikTok feed. Maybe that says more about my TikTok feed. And then we have a clear audience favorite with Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom. And if I had to guess, Tyler, I would guess that you vote. That would be the one that you submitted was Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and defend your position a little bit?
I don't need to. Go watch
Go
it.
watch
He's incredible in that. He should get nominated for an Oscar for it.
I agree. I also would suggest Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom as a best lead performance. From acting
with it, Luke.
to singing, I think he just covers the whole gambit there. But yeah, Luke, what is your vote?
I didn't watch this, unfortunately, but I know it.
It's obvious. It's obviously Dave Bautista in Army.
Oh, out of left field.
Psych! No, it's my favorite was Will Smith in King Richard.
Oh,
I knew
yes.
it.
I mean, I have a prediction around his Oscar win.
Mm-hmm.
He's incredible.
And I hope you're right.
Me too.
Yep, that's one that I definitely still need to see. I didn't catch it while it was on HBO. What the heck? I'm an idiot. But
I was adjusting to being a dad during that time, so it's not super high on my list to get to watch.
Priorities, right? Like making sure the infant is okay is higher priority.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Important.
Well, out of, let's see, by a large margin, and I'm not going to do the math, Andrew Garfield is going to win this category for best lead performance. Congrats, Andrew.
Love it.
I love you. Best supporting. What? Oh, can we have him? Let's just give him a call.
Yes.
Best supporting performance, film or TV. Lakeith Stanfield, Judas and the Black Messiah. Owen Wilson, Loki. Spoiler alert for Spider-Man No Way Home. Just jump into the future, like 15 seconds. All of the Spider-Men from No Way Home. Spoiler section over. Someone from anyone from Cobra Kai. Mark Rylance. What was he in this year that people are excited? He's a good actor.
He is good.
Rylance. See, I should have done. Oh, Don't Look Up, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think that's the only thing he's been in this year.
He is a good actor.
I'm just gonna double check though, because I want to make sure I'm getting it right. Where's his career? Do you not have? Okay, well, Wikipedia is.
I say we
dumb.
just do the normal thing and assume it was Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. Yeah, there you go. I love it. J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man in Invincible. I like that pick. That's a good one. Anya Taylor-Joy in Last Night in Soho. Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso. Rebecca Ferguson from Dune. Oh, and I'm not sure if this is this may be a slight. Haley Stanfield from Hawkeye. I would consider her performance a lead performance, but
yeah,
but she did share the screen with.
She was great in Hawkeye.
She was great in Hawkeye. We'll just say that she was great in Hawkeye.
Yep.
I have no idea what Tyler put for this one.
He put I can't even remember what everybody said. I bet he said the Rebecca Ferguson. That's the only one I can remember. So what you put?
That's what I put.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought she was incredible. She did a really good job of capturing that character from the book onto the screen. It all works so well. She was casted perfectly.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Luke?
Mine is Robin DeJesus from Tick Tick Boom.
Nice.
Mm.
Yes.
He played Michael. He was Andrew Garfield's best friend in that movie.
Yeah.
He was a huge highlight in my review of Tick Tick Boom. He was really, really good. I liked
really
him
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to go with Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah.
Nice.
He has had such a nice sudden up and like he's been around for a little while, but like his star power is really starting to show, and I am super excited to see him go from being on the best supporting actor lists to being on the best actor lists. I think he definitely deserves it. So
Mhm.
Yes.
that's another really good diverse group there with not really one standout other than, Lakeith Stanfield got 2 votes. So
Give it to him.
we'll give it to him.
I like it.
Keith
Oh!
Stanfield. I'm a huge fan of that guy.
I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I missed one. I didn't realize I could scroll in this section. I better go back and make sure I didn't. Cillian Murphy from A Quiet Place 2. Someone wrote that in. I honestly forgot
he was
that
good.
came out this year, and that is a fantastic option. Fantastic choice.
Good choice. Good choice, Dana. Good
How was
choice.
that Dana's?
That was Dana's. Yeah, she was sitting up there filling it out, and she's like, Cillian Murphy was great in that. And I was like, what?
Yes, he was.
Like, she just randomly said that. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm doing the survey. It's like, oh.
Did your kid fill one out?
She did, and everything with Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
Should
And
have
then
known.
Best supporting character in that was Black Panther for her.
I blame a recency bias.
I don't know if you can blame recency bias when you're like 4 months old.
I'm just gonna blame the fact that Tyler chooses these things, like he chooses what she watches. He is filtering.
Nope.
He is
Nope.
filtering what she sees.
Nope.
She needs to see more things.
It is Dana's choice.
Oh, okay. Blame
Watch
Dana.
Midnight Mass with her.
Classic.
Dana makes her watch Spidey and His Amazing Friends, and she loves it.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to best soundtrack / score. Which these are 2 different things, but I don't think a lot of people think of them as different things. So a couple people threw, 2 answers in there, and we're just gonna name them as their own category, as their own entries. So we had Last Night in Soho, WandaVision, In the Heights, and another In the Heights. Oh. Nothing stood out to me personally. Sad day. Oh, well, that's maybe something in 2022 will stand out. Encanto, another In the Heights. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a theme. And Dune, and then Dune, and then Dune. So, coming out of the audience vote plus Tyler, we have 3 Dunes and 3 In the Heights. So Tyler, I'm assuming one of those was you. I'm curious which one.
One of which was
It was you threw in probably In the Heights. It would be my guess. No.
Mine was Dune.
Dune. All right.
Yeah, mine was Dune. Yeah.
Luke, what's your option?
So I always think this question is interesting, especially with musicals.
Yeah. That's why I didn't put In the Heights, because
I didn't either. It's not an original score. It's been done before. It was already written. So like I kind of In the Heights music is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Though. Like it's incredible.
Yes. Oh,
Same with
100%.
West Side Story and Tick Tick Boom. Like those 3 all in themselves have incredible soundtracks. But it wasn't a newly crafted cinematic score for a movie, which is how I think about it. So mine is Dune.
Me too. Yeah. Hey, we're on the same page. That's why I didn't put In the Heights. It's the same thing. I feel like musicals don't really fit this fairly.
Yeah. We need a best musicals category next year. If there's enough of them, that's the thing. That's the thing. It was 2021 was the year of the musical. Well, I will go with the popular vote, and I will also say Dune. There was a lot about Dune. that I didn't like, at least upon first viewing. I've really warmed up to Dune Part 1 as a movie in and of itself, but something that I did appreciate from the beginning was its soundtrack. Hans Zimmer nailed it, and can't wait for Part 2. So congratulations, Dune, on winning the Fanboy Award for Best Score slash soundtrack. So now we're going to move over into our gaming.
Sorry.
We have a couple, just two gaming questions here. Best game released in 2021. Responses are, let's see, Metroid Dread, New World, Guardians of the Galaxy, Hitman 3, Resident Evil Village, It Takes Two, and Halo Infinite. And there are a couple in there that had multiple votes, but I'm not going to tell you right now because I want there to be suspense. So Tyler,
Suspense.
what is your best game? What is your game of the year for 2021?
I'm gonna pretend you didn't ask that, but it's mine was It Takes Two. Yeah, I mean it's incredible. That game is amazing. It's every genre of game in one. It's couch co-op, which we don't get enough of anymore. It's a game I can play with my wife. It's a game I can play with, a best friend. Like it's so good.
Yeah,
so good. I hope more people give this game a chance because it really is one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had.
Nice, love it. I'm curious, did Dana also vote It Takes Two?
Yes.
Sweet.
Nice.
That
I know it has two.
Now we know who voted for that one.
It takes 2 votes.
It Takes Two gets 2 votes.
And it's the only game I know she played that came out this year. So
Fair enough. There's not a Switch game she played?
I don't think so.
All right.
Did Animal Crossing come out this year?
Oh, no,
did.
Animal Crossing was this
It
year?
was this year.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it because
No, it was last
yeah,
year.
because I didn't
was
buy
last
it
year.
brand new when we got it, and we just got it this year. So, I'll throw mine out there. Pretty obvious, I think, if you listen to what I've been playing lately. Halo Infinite. Like Tyler said, is it the game to beat all games? I don't know, but I didn't play as many games this year, so
Was it the only you played?
Is it the only new
Beat.
game I played?
Beat.
Oh, the only
No,
new game
the
I
only
beat.
Beat.
It's the only one I beat this year that I finished. Yes, that is accurate. But it's not the only game from 2021 I played. That said, was still my favorite game of the year. Luke?
Mm-hmm. Man, I actually really struggled with this one.
Yeah, because you played like 16 games.
No. I only beat like 4.
Okay.
It was I felt like in general, honestly, mainly because I didn't have a PS5 all year.
Yeah.
So it just took a lot of the options away. And then some were just terrible, like Battlefield 2042's beta was
Man,
terrible,
I was so
but
looking forward to that game.
Not that it would have been my game of the year.
But it just cut down on all the different experiences you got because all of a sudden your opinion of it was so soured based on that experience.
Yeah, but like I haven't got a chance to play Returnal yet. And I haven't even started Halo yet.
Yeah.
So there's 2 that are off the table already.
Yeah.
But I was struggling in between Guardians of the Galaxy and Ratchet and Clank, 2 games that I absolutely love. And it's hard because I gave Guardians a fanboy worthy, mainly because there is some frame issues and graphics issues that
Some, like
kind of kept
technical
popping
stuff.
up. Technical stuff that kept popping up. And Ratchet and Clank didn't have those issues. But I'm going to give it to Guardians of the Galaxy because for 2 reasons. The emotional part of that story worked so well. And I honestly can't believe it delivered as good as it did.
Yeah.
And kind of going off that, this game just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic. And like it was announced this year at like E3, and people were like, what is this? And then it was out and people loved it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to that.
Yeah, I think all
Nice.
of these, it surprised me that you struggled, but I'd forgotten that you had just finished Ratchet and Clank. So I thought Guardians would have been an easy
Like
shoe in
would've.
for you. But yeah,
But
that
no,
makes sense with.
It's crazy too because I played the medium pretty early in the year,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh wow, there's like no games coming out this year. That's probably going to be my game of the year. It's going to be that in between the medium and for Forza Horizon 5, which I knew I wasn't going to play that much, but that I would play.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's going to be the medium, and then Guardians came out of nowhere. Also, the medium underrated.
Mm.
Yes.
It's on Game Pass. If you have Xbox, you should try it. Psychological
Really fun.
thriller, horror thriller, somewhere in there game. Really good
Also,
stuff.
12 minutes. 12 minutes is underrated as well.
I have enjoyed 12 minutes. I've installed the medium, but I have not played it.
I think you'll
Man,
really like
I
the
need-
medium.
I know.
beat
I
a
need
lot more
to.
games than I thought this year.
I need
Yeah,
to.
it's the good thing about the medium too is it goes in the same category. It's just a single narrative game, and it's not that long.
Yeah. Yep.
And it has really good voice acting.
And great music.
Mhm.
Nice. All right. Well, then our final category. Oh, I didn't announce the winner. The winner then would be Halo Infinite. It got 3 votes. It Takes Two got 2 votes, and Guardians of the Galaxy got 2 votes. So
Wow.
just
Wow.
by a hair.
Wow.
But I'm curious. I can't wait, Luke, for you to play Halo and actually hear your thoughts on it. I am really
No, it's like-
excited.
It's interesting because like at this point I'm not even really putting it off. I'm just doing so many other things. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm in the same situation you're always
Yeah.
in.
We're just too busy.
I'm just catching up on all the movies and shows, and then I got a PS5.
Yeah, what
It's like-
what a time for you to do that, right? All right, well, our final category that we had people vote on was the best live game category. No surprise this got the least amount of response just because I think we have fewer gamers in our audience,
Gamers.
let alone those who play live games.
Luke's a gamer, bro.
But we did
Yeah, I'm
have
a gamer.
Apex Legends got mentioned, Destiny 2 got mentioned, and Halo got mentioned, and I'm not sure if they mean Halo Infinite or Halo the Master Chief Collection.
Master Chief Collection.
Because it just says Halo. both of the respondents just say Halo.
Yes.
And what's interesting is I would not actually put personally, I would not put Halo as a. I don't think their kickoff to their live game services has been awesome, but that may also be the only live game that they played. The people who played this year. So, my vote for best live game of 2021 would be Apex Legends. Apex has constantly had just really good updates and live services, how they've adjusted things like their battle pass and challenges. I think it's second to none. I love Destiny 2 and Bungie also, but I don't think they've quite kept up with Apex in that regard. But Luke, what do you think? It's the only live game he plays is what he's going to say.
What's the only live game I play? Obviously, it's Star Wars Battlefront 2. Oh, no. I got to change it. It's Anthem.
Oh.
Because they put it out of its misery.
They did do that.
What about Outriders?
No, dude, screw Outriders. That game was dog crap. I tried to fake liking that game for a day, but you know what? It's bad. No, it's Destiny. It's the only live service game I play, and I think it's pretty crazy how good Destiny was this past year. when they didn't even release a new expansion.
Yeah.
Beyond Light came out in 2019.
Yeah.
2020 was all just seasonal content, but where Bungie and the Destiny
2020 to 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
A year
I'm
off,
stuck
but it's
back-
fine.
That's yeah.
Where did the last 2 years go? Nobody knows.
Bungie's gotten really good at changing stuff more quickly. They've had a lot of different sandboxes just in the past year. They've had a lot of constant updates. They've been fixing problems, I think, a lot more quickly, and they've just been
Oh no.
a lot better.
Yeah.
Than that. And then just the story stuff they've added through the seasons has been so good. They've switched up how their narrative works, and they've been crushing it.
It's fair. I like it. Tyler, you may be a deciding factor here.
Yeah, mine's Apex.
Looks like say Destiny.
We got a dude
say
who doesn't
Destiny.
play Apex, a dude that doesn't play Destiny, and one guy that plays both.
Yeah. I just think Apex has the perfect blend of just battle pass management, challenge management. They drop lore into their game in an effective manner. All of their supporting YouTube stuff, like with their short, good to provide story. And it's a game, in my opinion, that I think just does a really good job of respecting your time, which is important for games as a service. I know Destiny has also made huge changes and strides in that department as well over the last year. But Apex, I think, it's the fastest in and out battle royale game. They just manage players very well, and it's super impressive.
I think, when I think about what does a game need to have to be the best live game, expectations for a game like Destiny are different for me than a game like Apex. I don't think Apex has to do as much, but it's also a free-to-play game that has limited modes and limited, ways to play. Destiny is a way different experience, and I think you're right, Luke, in that they've done a really good job this year in kind of making some of those adjustments. I just think that with what it is as a game, the fact that it's still it's not a true free to play, as much as Bungie might like to try and say it is.
It's not. It's a free.
It's a free to free to dabble your toes in, but like if you want to do anything substantial, it's not that kind of a game. It just has different expectations for me when it comes to what it has to do to earn a best live game title, I guess. So I'm very excited based on what they've kind of teased very lightly about 2022, especially when it comes to narrative. And that's something I don't get in Halo or Apex. Halo yet. We may get some.
Halo, yeah.
So 2022 could be the year for Destiny, for Bungie to take that, depending on the moves they make. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that does give Apex the most votes. Congratulations. I think they won last year too. They've been solid, Respawn and Apex. I'm hoping that game. It seems like that game has given Respawn new life into doing more things, and
Titanfall 3,
Star Wars stuff,
Fallen Order 2.
So yeah, like very, very excited for them. But yeah, that is the end of our fan contributed list. Thank you all you fanboys and fangirls for writing in answers. Even if your favorites didn't win, They were probably awesome. I think I didn't see any of those that I was like, oh no, that's a bad answer. So, were there any other, real quick before we wrap it up, were there any other categories, guys, that we didn't have written down for our list that you wanted to make mention of?
I would be curious what your guys' favorite superhero related thing was this year.
Oh.
I think I can guess what the fan vote would be. I'm pretty sure it would be Spider-Man: No Way Home. But I'm curious what yours is. My favorite superhero related thing this year was the Suicide Squad. I freaking love that movie. I think it's one of the best comic book movies ever made.
Yeah, that's super good.
Let me pull out my handy dandy list, and
I'll tell you that I'm with probably what you would assume the audience would guess, which is Spider-Man: No Way Home. It did just the right amount of nostalgia, plus Spider-Man's just such a fun character, and
plus
it was a really good movie.
movie.
It really was.
Yeah.
Really was. So
mine was also Spider-Man. I felt like Spider-Man: No Way Home really just nailed down the things.
Nice.
It nailed down my critiques of the first two Spider-Man movies in the MCU, and really handled them well.
Yeah. I'm curious what your guys is. What were your Booyah movies this year? Just run through them. Yeah,
Like
just
all
run
of
through them
them?
real quick.
Gosh.
Because I'll run through mine. I had 11 Booyahs. Belfast, Encanto, The Harder They Fall, Shang-Chi, Pig, Judas and the Black Messiah, Don't Look Up, Spider-Man: No Way Home, In the Heights, Nomadland, and No Time to Die.
In the Heights, The Suicide Squad, Dune, No Time to Die, West Side Story, Spider-Man, King Richard, Mitchell's vs. Machines, underrated movie, Shang-Chi, and Judas and the Black Messiah.
All of mine are the same. I don't think there's any I don't think there's anything I'm gonna say that isn't. Maybe 14 Peaks.
Yeah.
Nothing is Impossible is the only one I think that wasn't mentioned. Yeah, that's it. Everything else has been mentioned. So the only ones I didn't see were West Side Story, King Richard, and Pig.
Or Belfast.
And Belfast.
Yeah. Yep. Ugh.
Midnight Mass, Ted Lasso, Only Murders in the Building, Reservation Dogs, Star Wars Visions, Hawkeye, and Cobra Kai.
Ooh, yes.
Were Booyahs for TV for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
My TVs were Star Wars Visions, Midnight Mass, Invincible, Pacific Rim: The Dark, Only Murders in the Building, Masters of the Universe Part 1, and Arcane.
I don't have my TV ones.
That's okay. But yeah, there was just a ton of really good stuff this year. That was more of my point, was just like, there was a lot of really awesome movies and TVs this year, and I have a ton of fun talking about them every year with you guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad we get to do a little, award show for our podcast that we get the audience to, kind of contribute as well. So,
we'll be shipping the awards out to the studios here soon.
to the winners.
Please don't throw it in the trash. I know it's just an A&W cream soda can.
I was gonna commission Claire to make some paper mache little awards to send out.
Even better.
Nice. I love it. Let's do it.
Oh gosh. All right.
Garfield's gonna get his statue and be like, "What the freaking crap is this?" Just throw it on.
Do we have contact
We'll
information?
give it to a
for him?
DoorDash.
Oh, there you go. I was say that's how you get it in through a DoorDash delivery. We did have one quick question over from Twitter for the Fanbox. Let me scroll down to it. So this is from our friend Ian, @pronounced Ian. What the Fanboy. So Denzel Washington's skills in Macbeth are getting rave reviews. Will he open up a Shakespearean wave? And if so, will people watch or understand? It's been a while since we've had kind of a Shakespeare renaissance.
Just watched one.
What,
Watched one 2 days ago. In fact, here's an opinion. Every version of Romeo and Juliet is better than Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet that I've ever seen. That's my opinion.
Possible.
Not that Romeo and Juliet is a bad story. It's obviously a great model for telling a love story and a tragedy.
Yeah.
But like the Montagues and the Capulets, like, man, I don't care about these rich French people, man.
Yeah, they were
Give me the West Side.
they
New
were
York.
way more relatable as Leonardo DiCaprio and gangsters in the hood on Miami Beach or whatever they were. Were they in LA? Were they? I don't remember.
I just remember the beginning of that movie. The dad is just like, "Get me my long sword," pulls the shotgun out of the side of the car, and just like, "This is freaking sweet."
That is a fantastic movie.
Dude, we should commentary
It's a
that.
fantastically horrible movie,
that.
and I love it.
That is our next commentary.
We
right
haven't
there,
done a
Romeo and
commentary
Juliet.
in like 2 years. I think that would be one worthy of bringing it back.
It's worthy of the return. Yes.
Yeah.
Get me my long sword. Dude, the minute you said that, I was like, oh, memories. I'm so in.
Oh my goodness.
What kind of sword is that?
Isn't the pistol called like the dagger or something like that?
All I ever remember is the long sword. This is like in the first 2 minutes.
Oh no, but I always enjoy when Shakespeare rolls around and in the kind of collective zeitgeist of a period of time, just because there are people who are super like, it has to be like crazy faithful to the original, like it really has to be faithful to that, and then there are people who are like, we got to make this modern and we got to make it crazy and we got to make it hip. And I just love the infighting between the two groups and the results that you get, because I think I haven't seen Macbeth yet, but I've heard fantastic things from it, so I'm super hyped.
I would not mind a new version of Hamlet.
Yeah.
I mean, Macbeth and Hamlet, I think, are great stories to keep telling. They're my favorite ones.
The 9mm is a dagger. That's what I thought. I will go with no. I don't think this will bring a resurgence back, because I don't think enough people will watch this. There's the people like us who will.
It doesn't.
They might try. But I don't think it will be effective.
Yeah,
it'll be a failed resurgence.
Yeah, I don't think it'll resurge at all.
Because wasn't there a Macbeth movie like 3 years ago with Michael Fassbender or something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Daisy Ridley's Ophelia movie.
Yep.
They're just nobody ever sees them.
I think they're typically like these. Hey, let's get a famous hot actor. I say hot, not attractive, just like someone who's in a lot of stuff. They're well known in the moment.
They're trending on IMDb.
Yes, exactly. and a studio will be like, hey, we can make this for $50 million, and
unless you're Netflix, you make it 200.
Yeah. and it doesn't necessarily get a resurgence. But that said, I do think. I mean, we'll see. I'll be able to speak more to this maybe in a week or two after I've seen this version of Macbeth. The other hard part is it being on Apple TV Plus. I mean, it was in theaters very shortly, but it was also out at the same time as Spider-Man, and no film is gonna compete with Spider-Man unless you're Scream and you're coming out 4 weeks after. So I think this will probably not do much other than there will probably be a few other studios that try and do something similar, but I don't think it'll be a resurgence in that kind of a sense. So we're still in the era of the comic book movie. So unless you can tell
The Tempest.
make the Tempest a superhero film, then it becomes mass viewing.
Mass appeal.
So, well, that wraps up our show this week. Thank you all for tuning in live and over on Twitch. We record these episodes Monday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you're ever curious about, what kind of fools do these guys look like, you can see it. Of course, if you don't have time to tune in on a Monday night, you can always watch it still later on YouTube. We're posting full episodes now over on YouTube rather than breaking it out. We got some feedback in the 2021 listener feedback poll that had suggested people would be more interested in watching the whole show rather than just a little partition. So that's fine by me. Let's give it a shot. And then, of course, you can always listen to it via podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, pretty much wherever you can listen to your podcasts. We're there. I do want to announce the winner of the hoodie from that 2021 survey. We had a number of really good, thoughtful feedback suggestions, and I really appreciated that. It's not Luke. No, I'm sorry. It's not Tyler. Sorry, Tyler. It is Ryan Ayersman.
Oh, yes.
Nice. Congrats, awesome. Ryan. Thank you for submitting feedback. Thank you to everyone else who submitted feedback. It is really valuable to us, how we do things. And
I wanted a shirt.
If you want to do if you want us to do more movie commentaries, you just have to let us know. We'll do Romeo and Juliet, and if that one gets, a bunch of listens, we'll just keep doing more. So
heck yeah, let's do it.
But until next week, thank you all for watching and listening, and we'll see you in a week. Bye.
Longsword. Is that a euphemism?
Yes.